All right. Welcome to episode 4 of Small Talk. Today we have Stephanie DeShane in the office with us. Or should we say Velez?
Velez.
All right, we'll
There's
say
no
that.
A.
Well, sorry, Joey. Love you, though. So Stephanie's been with us for a little over 4 years. She's the second longest member of the team. And we're going to start off by reading a review that somebody left for her. So our 5-generation home needed to be sold. Stephanie knew the neighborhood, not just real estate, but the streets, local shopping, and restaurants. She showed how the asking price for a house would fit with other houses on the market. She offered 3 scenarios for selling, as is, simple fixes, and small updates. From start to finish, we knew what to expect, even when offers came in. Each of the 18 offers were explained, and our choice was ours. The higher than asking conventional loan offer looked good. After a few weeks, Stephanie saw the signs that the buyer might be backing out. She had already called our second choice offer with a heads up. Indeed, the first offer backed out. Now, no time for us was lost. The week of closing was the same as the week as the first buyer. Stephanie is highly recommended for listing and selling your home. You want to respond to that? Like, that's a really awesome review. So, I mean, 18 offers is pretty hard to navigate for one, right? And
yeah. Yep.
Two, the expectations of, our clients is that we guide them through the whole process, and to have a backup offer ready when that first offer kind of was ready to go, might not have been easy. How was that for you?
I mean, I think it's just always our job to be prepared. You always have a great offer, but you never know, something might happen. You got to be ready just in case, and you can't let your clients down. And that's really what it comes down to for me, for everyone, really.
Sure.
You have to be prepared. What if something happens? You cannot fail your clients.
So, what would you like to say to the seller that left you that review, and how would you respond to that?
So that particular seller, it was a family. It was a bunch of siblings. They sold their mother's house after their mother had passed. To them, I just hope that they're all doing very, very well. And I occasionally get updates. Oh my gosh, have you driven past the house lately? It's so cute, and they've done so much. We're so excited that they love it. So that's just really nice to hear.
Yeah. I remember that house specifically, and that was big change from when we sold it, and then when it was sold the second time. So, how did you get into real estate? So before real estate, what did you do? How did you get into real estate? Like, what led you to that journey?
Real estate was always my mom and I thing. Sounds really dumb, but I'm not a spring chicken. So I grew up when you actually still use newspapers.
Okay.
Every week, you got the Sunday paper. Sunday afternoons after church, everybody else wanted to take a nap and relax. My mom and I would look through the Sunday paper and go to open houses. And that's what we would do for 2 or 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon, probably at least twice a month, and just go and check out the different houses, different styles of houses. She loves architecture. So she would just tell me about the different styles of houses and different things.
Yeah.
And just different things that you could do to houses. And, ooh, how about that idea? What do you like about this house? And what are they doing in this house that's different than another house? And then just looking at the different streets and the different sides of town. We just did it all the time since probably I was maybe 12.
It was like a hobby growing up?
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember like the real estate infomercials? And
oh gosh, they were horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually what kind of like, I don't know, one of my first memories of kind of getting into the real estate world is seeing those infomercials, and it's like, this guy can do it, I can do it. Right?
Yeah, one of those. So, yeah.
How do you come in contact with a team? Like, tell me about that.
So I started with Smallegan. So I got licensed actually on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. It was a crazy day. I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, went shopping all day, and then went and took my test. Lucky me, I passed it, even though I was so tired. And then so I right away started with Berkshire Hathaway. So I started there not having a clue what I was doing. I went through a training program. And at the end of a training program, they actually had some agents that were already in the office come for like a nice Q&A. Well, one of the people that I really connected with at the end of this training session was actually on the Smallegan team.
Okay.
Just got along with this person very well. So after the training, while I was just trying to get my feet about me and things like that, that person and really your whole team, I mean, the team was a lot smaller at that time.
Sure.
But you were just more than willing to help me with any question that I had. I mean, anytime I could call or text multiple of you, I could stop by your office. Your door was always open. And eventually I just wore you down and got on the team.
You haven't left since, and I appreciate that.
No, I haven't.
We all have our strengths. So what would you say is like one of your like superpowers? What are you really good at? If someone's going to work with you, what is something that like you feel like you do better than anybody?
I feel like I bring a sense of realness. I feel like some agents can go very over the top, make it look very flashy and nice, and this is so easy. I tell all of my clients from day one, the very first time that I meet them, I am not going to hide things from you. I'm a blunt person. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Maybe that's why we get along.
Yeah, right? I think so. I'm going to tell you how it is. I mean, I will gladly explain it more than one way. I want you to understand.
Sure.
But I'm not going to hide things from you. I want to know what's going on in your transaction.
Yeah. Speaking of transactions, what's like one obstacle or one situation where you maybe had issues but besides the time where the deal fell apart and you went to the backup offer, what's another time that you solved a problem for a client?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So my very first listing, I'll never forget it. It's probably one of the worst. It was before I was ever on the team.
Okay.
My very first listing, I think it was just my very first deal ever, I think was a listing. So got an offer. We actually got 2 offers. Took the first one. It was an FHA offer. Ended up falling apart. The house needed too much work.
Sure.
Fell apart. Okay, no big deal. Had another offer. It was still it appraised under what they originally wanted. This is what it is. You already have your other house under contract. What do you want to do? They said, fine, forget it. We're still making money on the house. So they're still okay. So going down the road, we're going to closing. Closing is good. Everything's good to go. Seller tells me, everything's out of the house. We're done. You can give them the keys. All right. Drop off the keys to the buyers. They pick up the keys. They go to the house. I get a phone call an hour later. There is a bunch of crap in the basement. We are not taking possession. Have it cleaned out by this weekend. Otherwise, we're charging the sellers.
I've been there for sure.
But when I say there was crap in the basement, I mean literal dog.
Maybe not there.
Crap.
I've not been there.
So luckily I have some great family, and I called my parents. They have a trailer. My dad and I and my brother went over there and got the whole thing cleaned out in about 2.5 hours, and happily ever after. Buyer was happy after that. Seller was still kind of pissed that we went and cleaned it. Somehow I was in the wrong for cleaning up their mess. That one.
The buyer was? I mean, sure, the seller was grateful.
No, the seller was pissed. Because they thought because they got less for their house, they could have left it there.
I'm glad you did the right thing.
Yes. But in the end, everybody is just fine. And that was rough, especially for my first deal.
So you were a solo agent before, and then you joined the team. What are some ways that the team has helped you or made things easier, or some of the differences between being a solo agent or joining a team?
So that's really hard for me, only for the fact that when I was a solo agent, you were already there for me. You already helped me with my questions. I think on one hand, that's why it was a really easy transition for me, but that's also what I rely on most about the team. When I have a problem, when I have a question or a situation that I've never encountered, I know I can call you and I have an answer or at least a suggestion or, hey, let me find out about this too. Like you don't leave any of us hanging. And that's also one big thing about our team just in general. The bigger that we've gotten, the more questions people have, but also the more things that multiple of us have encountered. And so now it doesn't all fall on you to answer all of our questions.
Right,
now,
the culture of the team is
now we're
helping.
all starting to answer each other's questions because we've gone through enough things, or you've answered it for me enough times that now I have an answer.
And you've always been really good about giving your opinion or helping out when you can.
Oh, I'm great about giving an opinion.
What would be some advice that you'd have for somebody just getting into the business, and maybe a brand new agent?
It takes work.
Okay. What kind of work?
Every work that you can put into it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
And it's not all tears and swear words either.
Yeah, you definitely got to be real with your clients and set the expectations. It's really going to be a smoother
definitely
transaction the whole way
expectations
through.
is probably the biggest thing. Don't get me wrong. On occasion, I have been on the phone at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Something is going on, but that's not normal, and nobody should think that's normal. And if you do, there's a problem. You need to set expectations and boundaries.
Yeah, and I guess it could be the normal if that's what the expectation is for your clients, right? But I think if you set those expectations for the people that you're working with up front, they're gonna hold to those. So,
and something that I struggled with for a long time is it's okay to go on vacation and not have to communicate with your clients. It's okay. You can tell them, hey, I'm going on vacation and I won't be available from this day to this day. If you leave me an email, I will gladly get back to you, but I will not be available by phone call from this day to this day. It's okay.
It's especially okay when you have someone helping you out back home, right?
Oh, heck yes.
When you're on vacation.
Yep, absolutely.
Because we all understand how important this decision is, and our vacations are important to us, but we want to make sure that our clients are definitely taken care of when we're not able to be there. So,
oh gosh, if I didn't have Devin.
Yeah.
Devin is our transaction coordinator, and she is beyond amazing.
Yeah, she's definitely really good at her job.
If I didn't have her, I would be taking a little bit longer on each transaction, I think. She's definitely a time saver. Fair
enough. So as we know, we're talking about this a lot lately, but the market is changing.
Yes.
You've now got a little over 4 years under your belt and seen big changes already. What are some ways that you're changing your business or adjusting to the shifting market?
Well, the good part is, at least I haven't seen recently, we're not going up against 20 or 30 other offers anymore.
Right.
It's more like 2 to 5, which is so much more manageable. When you don't win, you actually get a real answer of why yours didn't win. When you come in second place or something like that, you can actually feel better about being in second place. Okay, well, what was that one extra thing that they had that we didn't? Mm-hmm. How can I adjust something so I can get my client what they want or need?
Right.
Sometimes it's just as simple as the other person had more cash, and then at that point you can't do anything. But I do think my clients are definitely noticing a difference, but in a way that they feel like they can even actually relax a little bit more because they don't have to jump on a house with only seeing it for 5 seconds and make a decision in 10 minutes. They can actually afford to think about it for a few hours, if not a day or two, because, the offer deadline is a little bit further out now. Or it's been on the market for a week. We're starting to see more of that too.
Yeah, a little less pressure.
Yeah, it's huge.
So Where are your clients coming from? Like, how are you picking up new people to work with, or people that want to buy in this market?
So I am one of the few on the team that just works off referrals,
Okay.
friends, family, my sphere, and referrals, and that's kind of all I'm doing right now. And
That's okay, right? Like,
I'm very happy about it.
yeah. I think that's one of the great things about this business, that you can set it up in the way that works for you and your lifestyle.
Yep.
And it's really a business by design, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
you can be as busy or not busy as you want.
yeah, for sure. Which some of us are a lot busier. So
I know, and you tell me every single time. So can you do more now? Will you do more,
just because I
please?
know you're really good, right? So
Well, thank you.
What is some advice? So this market's shifting, right?
Yes.
What is some advice for someone selling their house? Like, what are some things that you're telling people when they're getting ready to put their house on the market?
So actually, a lot like what's in that review. I like to give them different options. If you can't or won't or don't want to do anything and sell it as is, then this is where your price point should kind of be according to the market. If you're willing to do a couple of projects, then this is where you can go. I do like to give them those options so that way they feel like they're a little bit more in control of what they can get for their house. And I mean, sometimes it can be as simple as, hey, power wash the house and it'll look better. Curb appeal sells. Trim some trees, power wash your house. Maybe deep clean your carpets.
Clean the carpets, for sure.
Some simple things, but I mean, if it shows better, people are going to be more willing to pay the money for it. But some people, they don't have the time or the money to do that, and that's fine. And then I just, make sure to explain to them, these are your options.
Yeah.
You can pick anywhere in between, and it gets priced accordingly.
And really just setting expectations again. It all comes down to that, right?
Exactly.
So what is your view for the next 6 months of real estate? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, well, we're coming into winter. Winter a lot of times slows down. Nobody wants to move in the snow. I know I don't. I don't even want to be outside in the snow.
Okay.
I don't like it. Thank goodness I have 4-wheel drive. I mean, maybe I shouldn't because then I'd maybe slow down my driving a little, but that doesn't matter. It's okay. So for real estate, I do think just like any winter, it's probably going to slow down just a touch. But that doesn't mean it's not a good time to buy or sell. Mm-hmm. I personally like to tell my buyers I think it's a great time to buy in the winter months. People are, at least in my experience, they're more looking to make a deal because if you're selling in the winter, usually they need to move for a reason. It's not usually just on a whim. Oh, well, we just decided to sell our house.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, and they're just upgrading or downgrading, whatever it may be. But I think usually buyers have a little bit more time to make decisions, especially in the winter. I think you're going to see more of a buyer's market coming.
I do think you get more serious people in the winter, so I'm with you on that one. So being on the team for 4 years, your life's changed quite a bit. What are some things that have happened over the last few years that would have an impact on your life?
I've grown up a little bit. It's really sad. No, I mean, I have grown up in the sense that I have finally gotten married.
Yeah.
I bought my first house. I sold my first house. My husband and I bought a house together.
Yeah. And
we have completely renovated about 90% of it. Right now we're working on the outside, renovating the outside, because, that's a thing now too. You got to renovate the outside. You can't just mow the lawn and be happy.
Sure. Your patio is amazing. The fireplace, you get that all set up yet?
Actually, we hung some new lights out there yesterday, and it looks nice.
Joey, want to come help me with that, maybe?
If you ask him, I'm sure he will. Joey's always willing to help people.
I've had those lights in a box for a year now, so.
Well, our box of lights have only been sitting on the kitchen counter for a month. So
okay, at least a year.
No, we've only owned our house for a year.
Well, these are my lights.
Oh, okay. Mine we're only there for a month.
Yeah.
Next year we're gonna put up like a sunshade thing over top of it.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want anything permanent. We don't want like a pergola or anything like that. We just want a little shade.
Okay.
Yeah, so lots of changes. I already had my dog. He will be 7 very shortly. My 100-pound Rottweiler. He's the biggest baby ever. And then we also have 2 cats because I am the dog lover and my husband is the cat lover. So we have 2 cats.
What are your cats' names?
So our dog Cosmo, he is 7. Yeah, I know Cosmo is not your favorite. Might have something to do with the fact that he peed on your leg.
Yeah.
Which he has never done to anybody else.
Wow.
Only you. You're special. Our 2.5-year-old cat, her name is Presley, and our 6-month-old kitten, Figaro, or Figgy.
Okay. How'd you come up with that name?
Joey is a huge fan of Pinocchio.
Mm.
And if you've ever seen the movie Pinocchio, there is a black and white tuxedo cat in there, and the cat's name is Figaro. And we got a black and white tuxedo cat, and her name is Figaro.
Interesting.
It's perfectly normal.
So, have you lived in Grand Rapids your whole life?
In or around surrounding areas. Started out on the west side, and then Sand Lake, and then Elder Heights, and on the north side, and west side again, back to the north side, and now we live in Jenison.
All right.
Kind of all over.
Same. Yeah, that's pretty much. I've only lived in the Grand Rapids area or very close surrounding. Yeah. So
I like it.
What's your favorite vacation?
Currently, our go-to vacation spot is Arizona.
Okay.
We have been going there 1 to 2 times a year for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. We're going back again in January.
Wow.
Yes, and we just went there in March. We took our parents there this past March because our parents helped us so much on the house.
Yeah.
We decided it would be super nice of us to pay for them to go on vacation with us.
And hang out with you for,
Yeah, we
weeks.
went for about 9 days.
Yeah.
Out to Arizona and did some Airbnbs, and neither one of our parents had ever been to Arizona. So we went out to the Grand Canyon and down to Tombstone because my husband is a huge Western fan. Western movies. So,
okay.
Yeah. Have you never seen the movie Tombstone?
Maybe. I don't have very good movie retention.
You go home and watch it. Go home and watch it. It's good.
Is that Clint Eastwood in that one?
I don't know.
Should know this.
Joey could tell you. I promise.
Right.
Joey could tell you.
So what's your favorite thing about Grand Rapids?
My favorite things, other people will definitely disagree. I think, to me, it still gives you the small town feel, but having pretty much anything that you could need out of a big city.
Okay.
I mean, you can find so many different breweries and distilleries and cideries and good food. Oh my gosh, all the different kinds of food around here.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, dang it. I don't know. All of them?
Okay.
And any of them that have really good food?
All right.
Pretty much non-chains.
Okay.
We try really hard not to go to chains.
Sure.
Because, I mean, why not support local? We have so many good local places. But if we had to pick one, maybe Riccone's.
I haven't been there yet.
It is a little Puerto Rican restaurant.
Okay. Where's that at?
And my husband is half Puerto Rican, and it's the only Puerto Rican restaurant we found. It's right on Granville.
Mm.
So you know where,
Wall Street area?
Like over where it turns into like Chicago Drive in Granville, and like it's a bright blue building, like you can't miss it.
Okay. Well, I'll have to look for that one.
It's really good. It's delicious. You might have to point at the menu because I don't think you could order.
We've talked about your how you got into business, being in the business, and then your family. What's one funniest moment in your real estate career that you could share with us?
I don't know a funny moment, but one of the funniest things that I've seen in a house.
Okay.
So I was showing this house in Belding. I don't know if you've ever been to Belding before, but there's some different people out there sometimes.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I find them very entertaining. But I went into this house. It had no less than, at least 20 different taxidermied animals. And down in the master bedroom, there were 4 squirrels playing poker. Like taxidermied squirrels playing poker.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I think I see that a lot, and actually when I'm meeting with sellers, and that's actually one thing I typically suggest people remove.
Maybe put
a good
away.
amount of that, right? We don't know what other people's stance is
Right.
on trophy animals, so it's funny. Squirrels playing poker.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely that rip off the dogs playing poker, and like they had little cards in their hand, and they had little sunglasses on, and hats, and cigars. It was weird. It was really weird.
It's painting a picture for me.
It was in the master bedroom, on top of the TV. Like,
oh boy!
I couldn't fall asleep looking at that.
So when I said funniest moment, how did you not immediately think of that?
I don't know. Gosh, that was probably 4 years ago, but I still remember it because
wow,
it blows me away.
You can't forget something like that.
No.
So, so how can somebody get a hold of you?
So you can get a hold of me either my cell phone or the team website.
Okay.
I am 99% sure if you go to the team website, you can click on my profile and all my info's right there.
Makes sense. So thanks for joining us today on the Small Talk podcast, and really appreciate you being part of the team and spending your half hour with us.
Thanks, Smalls.
Thanks.